Hello and welcome to the show today. My name's Chris Reardon. This is United Kingdom Talk. Good news to start with today. I don't think Sainsbury's is going to prosecute me after all for putting through 2 incorrect potatoes on the self-service checkout. As I told you about in the last show, I was getting concerned. I could see policemen turning up at my door telling me we're prosecuting you for putting 2 incorrect potatoes through at the wrong rate at the Sainsbury's checkout. Probably because it was actually in the supermarket's favour that the error occurred. I have a feeling, had I dared to steal even so much as a penny from Sainsbury's, I would have been dragged into a prison somewhere with all those butch men. I might do it again later, actually. I might just try that. There's an email address to the show. It's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I've just got a letter this morning, actually, from the... Oh, what are they called now? I can't... Oh, I wish I brought the letter up, actually. It's a government department. And the idea is, if you've got solar panels or wind turbines, something like that, you know, I've got solar panels on the roof, you're supposed to get some money from them for the amount of electricity that you generate. Now, I've had my solar panels up on the roof now for about 3 years. And the system that was in place, it's the renewable energy... Oh, I can't remember that. I mean, it's ever such a long title. Anyway, I should have been getting money for the electricity that I generate over the last couple of years, but they have made it, the system is so complicated. It is absolutely so complicated that I have not been able to get a single penny out of them because basically I don't know what I'm doing with it, okay? Everything's working, technically everything working, I make electricity, I use electricity, that's it. But actually getting money from the government to as they said they would, you can get money for doing this, has proved nigh on impossible. It really has. I've even spoken to them on the telephone and it is explained to you in a way that you haven't got a damn clue how to fill out these forms. And as yet, I haven't had a single penny. However, the system is about to change. Okay, so another load of forms have come through the letterbox this morning with a letter explaining this. So I'm hoping I'm going to read through those letters as soon as I finish the show today and possibly ring them up and ask them again. Look, you know, is this going to be any easier? Because quite frankly, I don't think they want to give out the money. You know, it's all very well, oh yes, if you do this and this, we'll give you so much money. You try and claim that money, it's virtually impossible. I don't know anyone else that has actually been able to claim any money for doing this. It's outrageous. If you saw the films, you'd know exactly what I mean. It is outrageous. I have no clue. You look at these forms and it might as well be written in Chinese for what they're saying, okay? So I've got my fingers crossed that the new forms downstairs are going to be a bit easier to understand because the system has changed. All right. Now, what was I asked? Oh, I was going to show you that this is wonderful. This is a Muslim alarm clock, which I found on eBay. Now, I gave this to my friend a while ago, and can you believe he doesn't want it, which is outrageous. Now, what does a Muslim alarm clock look like? Well, it's built in the shape of a mosque, okay? It's built in the shape of a mosque. There's a clock on the top and what looks like a bell on the outside, right? But it doesn't ring, okay? There's no bell. This is absolutely fantastic. Someone is obviously, I suppose, I don't think Muslims, are they allowed to make money on certain things? What was that? Oh, I think with bank accounts, if you go to a Muslim bank account, I don't think the bank is allowed to make money on your interest or something like that. If you've got any Muslims watching the programme, I'd be interested to hear that. If you've got something with a Muslim bank, is that right? The bank is not allowed to make money out of you, or you're not allowed to make interest. I can't remember. Someone let us know. You got the email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Anyway, this Muslim alarm clock, when the alarm goes off, you don't get a bell. Check this out. This is just wonderful, this is. Okay, I'm going to set the alarm off now. Are you ready for this? Listen. How wonderful is that, eh? I love it! I love it! Every Muslim house should have one of these. I think that's fantastic. And that incidentally, that noise is, it's not noise, that chant is the Muslim call to prayer, because they have to pray at certain times of the day and they put a mat down. In fact, at our, what do I call it now? At the sports centre down the road, they actually, the Muslim guys all hire out a hall, a large hall in there on a Friday afternoon, and they all pray in there because there's no mosque around here, so they hire out a hall, and they're very, very, very nice people indeed. But I think this is wonderful, and that is, again, I'll play it for you once more, the Muslim call to prayer. Let's just do it once more. Here we go. Oh. You want one, don't you? You want one, absolutely. And this got me round to thinking. Okay, how about an alarm clock for all different religions? Whether you agree with religion or not, that's not the thing here. I wonder if there is indeed, I should have looked this up on the internet before I started the show today, is there a Catholic alarm clock? Or a Church of England alarm clock? Or a Buddhist alarm clock? I don't know if Buddhists do hymns or whether they do any sort of chanting, or a Jewish alarm clock. Any of those. There's money to be made here, which perhaps I shouldn't say that, you know, what with it being religion and what have you. But, you know, all these churches, certainly different churches around the world, they all need money to run. Why hasn't anyone bought out a Catholic alarm clock? There are Catholics like me who, you know, I go to church, I play the organ. Am I a good boy Catholic? No, I admit that I'm not. I'm one of those that's going to be having to beg for forgiveness, okay? But there are other Catholics there who are really proper Catholics, you know, absolutely live by the Bible. And I think those people would be interested in a Catholic alarm clock. One that at your alarm time switches on and plays you perhaps your favourite hymn. You could have a selection of hymns on the back on a rotary dial, push a couple of buttons, and then when it wakes you up in the morning or even whatever time you wake up, it would play out a hymn for you. What a wonderful idea. And why hasn't anyone done this yet? Maybe I've given you an idea there. Eh? Same with the Church of England one, very similar, but you could do one for all, I suppose. A Christian alarm clock, because a lot of the services and the hymns are all very similar. I don't know how it works with the Jewish religion. Do you have hymns or chants or anything like that? If there's probably religions that don't have music at all, I suppose you could have it reciting a hymn as you wake up in the morning. What a wonderful way to start your day. Hey, just a suggestion there. Good business idea for someone, perhaps. I want commission. What do you think of that one? Let me know on the email, okay? Chris@UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. Chris@UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. And talking of emails, some are coming up right now. We were talking on the live show a couple of weeks ago about frozen people. People being cryogenically frozen in the hope that one day they will be able to be defrosted and then cured of whatever illness they died from and made to live more. There are people who get frozen. They don't know how to defrost them yet. Maybe they never will do. But these people have decided when they die, they're quickly frozen, put in a freezer somewhere, and they await defrosting. And Brenda, good morning, Brenda. She says, Walt Disney is frozen, just his head, I think. Yeah, I knew Walt Disney was actually, he has been frozen, of course, for many years. But I think just his head. I mean, I don't quite know what you're going to do if you just wake up with a head and presumably attach yourself to some mechanical robot with just your head on top. Be a bit strange, wouldn't it? I'd like to be able to live to actually see someone be defrosted and possibly brought back to life. But would you be soulless? That's the thing. Does your soul go when you die? Therefore, if the body is brought back to life, it would be soulless, wouldn't it? Sorry, I've got really itchy eyes this morning for some reason. My eyes are itching away. I don't know why. I haven't been stroking the cat yet. Poor old soul. She's downstairs waiting for her breakfast. I've come in here to talk to you first. And Irving Distiller phoned into the live show a couple of Mondays ago and said the theory that Irving Distiller was talking about, you actually do get lighter the moment you die. And this apparently was in a book called The Lost Symbol by Dan Brown. So I'm going to have to look that one up, I think. The Lost Symbol by Dan Brown, and see what all that's about. Possibly order a copy. But you do get lighter when you die. I can't remember what the reason for that is, but there is a very good reason for that. Some people would say, again, if you're religious, that that's because your soul has left your body. Okay, there's all sorts of religions. I don't think science can answer everything. I really don't. Science can go back so far, can't it? The Big Bang, for example. They talk about the Big Bang when the Earth and the Sun and all these planets and stars were created. But what caused the Big Bang? Okay, they might say, oh, it's a collection of gases. Well, what made the gases? I mean, how far back? You can't just keep going back. It sends you mad. It actually sends you mad trying to work out why we're actually here. It's just amazing that so many different coincidences have come together to make man alive. For example, the exact distance of the Earth from the Sun. And the fact that the move is at such the perfect position between the Earth and the Sun that we do get a total eclipse. You don't get that on any other planet. So why is it that we just happen to be at the absolute correct point that when there's a solar eclipse, it is full? It just amazes me, all these things. The temperature of the Earth, the fact that we've got this atmosphere around us protecting us from the rays of the sun and from the coldness of outer space. Isn't it amazing? And they explain all this scientifically. A lot of it can be explained scientifically, but not all of it. Not all of it. Your thoughts on that, please. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Anyway, Paul writes in, hello Chris, it was great to listen to your show, your live show the other Monday. I do enjoy your wit and banter. We like to have a bit of a chat together. We do, dear. We do. I could not believe what you said about the London Eye. It is just how I experienced it as well. As it was going up, I felt completely helpless. Did it feel good to get off? Yes, it did. Oh, it did. That's what I was saying to you on the show. I hated it. As soon as that door closed, I was terrified. I wanted to get off the London Eye. I did not enjoy it at all. However, I will say, as it goes up and up, I was getting worse, but I said nothing to anyone. I was terrified going up on that thing. The strange thing is, as it got to the top, once it started coming down, I felt happier. As I said on a couple of shows now, if you come to London, you're okay with heights, you must go on the London Eye. It is a fantastic experience. You can see so far. Although I'll tell you what, there's no way I'd go up if there was a lightning storm around. Because it is the highest point. I suppose it must have been hit by lightning a few times, would it be? The London Eye? I don't know, really. Great to see more work going your way. Yeah, I'm working 6 nights at the moment. I do hope you're getting paid for your radio work. No, you're having a joke, and let me tell you, Paul, I will never be paid for radio work. It's just how it is. I came to that decision a few years ago because I do feel someone of importance or a few people must by now have heard my little shows or seen my little videos, and they have obviously decided, no, he's not for us, okay? What I do is, I suppose, a very personal thing between me and you. I don't think it's suitable for radio as it is now. However, you know, I get a good wage during my DJing and my karaoke, and that's what allows me to do this. Yes, it would be wonderful to get paid to do this, but I honestly don't see it ever happening. There's a lot of people now doing internet radio like myself, okay, who do not get paid for radio. They think they will do. I thought I would do right at the beginning, 10 years ago, but I don't think, no, I actually cannot see it ever happening. No one is going to come along and say, hello, I like your show, whether it's the music and chat show I do or this chat show. I don't think anyone's ever going to come along and say, hello, we like your show, please come and do us a show. People have watched this show, people like yourself, Paul, and have kindly, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, have kindly put my name forward to their local radio station, and I've never heard a thing from any of them. You just don't hear it. It's not how it really works anymore. You know, gone are the days when I suppose scouts used to go around and look for presenters. Now you have to go to the station and you have to totally fit in with the format. Okay? Format and branding to these people is everything. It's everything. More important than anything in the world is the format of the station and the branding, and that's why they wouldn't want me. Okay? That's just the way it is, Paul. He says, you deserve to be on the BBC. I would love to be on the BBC, Radio 2. I think Radio 2 would be the closest thing to what I do, but I really don't. I have accepted that that won't happen. Okay? There comes a point when you have to give up. I think when you hope and you hope and hope, and I hoped all the way from when I was a little boy, like 14, when I used to listen to people like Tony Blackburn, Dave Lee Travis, Jimmy Young, all people that used to entertain me in the morning. They weren't just there banging out the music. They were entertaining me in the morning. It was, I think it sounded like it was unscripted. It was all ad-lib, and for me that worked, and that's what I wanted to do. I always wanted to do that. I wanted to have a radio show where I would be in complete control, or almost complete control. I can work within a framework. You know, if I've got a list of records in, right, you do the talking, these are the records we want you to play, that's fine. We want you to play 10 records an hour, these fit them in around your chatting. Yeah, I can do that, no problem at all, you know. But to be told virtually what to say, when to say it and all that, it's just too much. It's too much. So, I think really sometimes I've got the best of both worlds, Paul. Because on one hand, I'm getting paid to do stuff I like, DJing and karaoke, right? And on the other hand, here I am, sitting here doing my own radio show, albeit with much less listeners than the people on Radio 2, or even, you know, other BBC local radio stations, much less listeners and viewers probably, I would have thought. However, I have complete control of this. I can do what I want. I would never, ever, ever want to upset someone doing this show. Wouldn't want to do that. But I am actually in control of this. Even the music and chat show. I do a music and chat show. If you haven't heard of that, it's at heartheswish.com. Okay, heartheswish.com. Click on Swish, and that's Monday to Friday between 10 and 11 a.m. I only do an hour, 10 till 11 a.m. Monday to Friday. And I chat and I play records. Now, the only remit I have from that internet radio station has to be middle of the road stuff. And that's it. I'm completely left alone to get on with it. There's certain rules. There are rules, you know, you don't again, basically, the rules are don't upset anyone. So I try not to do that. And I share experiences with people. And of course, the beauty of internet radio is that it's unregulated. If I have a problem with a company or a shop or something like that, I can quite freely go on the station and talk about it and share my experience with you. Similarly, you could write in and say, oh, I went down so-and-so, and you can share that experience and I can read it out. Although I would read it out on the basis that of fairness. For example, two very good friends of mine on the Isle of Wight the other day, they had a problem with, I think, a shop. I can't remember what shop now. But I couldn't get to the bottom of the problem. I kept asking, well, what exactly was the problem? Well, I don't know. And David was saying, well, we don't really know. They were just rude. Well, what were they rude about? Oh, I can't remember now. They were not rude. And that wasn't precise enough for me. So I was trying to get out the information, but we never actually got to it. You know what I mean? That's not a diss on David at all, the guy that wrote in. It's just, you know, you've got to be to the point. What is your exact complaint? You know, to come on and say, no, we don't like going there because they treated us bad. Well, in what way did they treat you bad? Well, they were rude. Well, what did they say that was rude? Do you see what I mean? I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, but we never did. So if you were to write in and tell me about something like that, I would want to get to the bottom of it. But no, I, as I say, that's all I ever wanted to do from when I was a little boy. I did 2 years doing an overnight show on Liberty Radio in London. That was in 2000, and nothing since. Okay, and it was a few years ago, I suppose, about 4 years ago. I did one of the very first internet radio stations there ever was. I was on there for a while. And I did that for about a year and a half. Then I went into another internet radio station, offshore music radio. And I did a little bit on there. And I really thought someone would hear it and they're like this and then offer me a job. But it didn't happen. And I think I got halfway through the offshore music radio time I was there, about a year and a half. And I suddenly accepted the fact that this was it. I'll be okay. If I want to do a show, I should be able to get on any of the thousands of internet stations, as I am indeed on one now. I'm on Swish radio. Once again, heartheswish.com what is it? Heartheswish.com it is. Click on Swish, 10 till 11, Monday to Friday. Okay, UK time. I think I'll always be able to get on an internet station, but to actually be paid to be on an FM station, no. I don't think it will ever happen, and I've now accepted that. And do you know what? Sometimes I think once you accept these things, it all becomes so much easier. You're not worrying so much if it's ever going to happen because you have accepted the fact that it won't, and that's it. All right? There might be some people who think that's a really negative attitude. I'm sorry, you know, that's how I've been doing this now for 10 years. Nothing's happened yet. I'm also no good at all at pushing myself forward. Really no good at all. I put the little adverts on Facebook and that whenever I do a show or anything like that. But to actually push myself forward, hello, my name's Chris Reardon. I do a radio show. Here's my stuff. Will you employ me? I can't do that. I don't know why, I just can't do that. Paul says, try not to leave it so long before I write again. And that's from Paul in Lowestoft, who indeed used to listen on my offshore music radio show. That was a wonderful little station, that was. Offshore music radio. Good station that was. Okay, hello to Lisa, who says, okay, now to answer Jennifer's question. In America, and to address some other things that you brought up in the shows from beginning to mid-March. Jennifer in Hollywood, Florida. Here's an answer to your question from Lisa in California. No, I have never lived anywhere but California in the USA. And I have never worked for Nestle. Which is probably a good thing, as I would likely have eaten too much candy and would have got huge from all that chocolate. There are a lot of Lisa Ayers in the USA. There is even one I once happened upon by accident on the internet who is a fellow artiste living in Austria or Australia, I think. She even looked a little like me, only she had lighter hair. Funny, the coincidences of life. Yeah, there we are. I mean, I must admit, I've typed into Google sometimes Chris Reardon and Christopher Reardon. There's loads of us. Loads of us, dear. But only one original, lovies. Okay? Only I am the original. Lisa goes on to say, okay, now to answer your question, your questions you've been asking, Chris, over the last couple of weeks. No, I do not want a 3D TV. I think 3D is nice for an occasional novelty and fun something different. But to watch it on an everyday night basis would not only be a strain on the eyes, I have a feeling it may cause some people negative neurological reactions. Besides, it is very likely to be way too expensive, and for what? I agree with you, it does seem to be a big waste of money. Yeah, this is the next thing they're going to push, isn't it? We've had the widescreen TVs around for years. Over the last few years, we've had high-definition TVs, and the next thing they're going to try and push is 3D TVs. But I personally do not see this happening. I cannot see families sitting around televisions day in, day out with those glasses on. I just don't see it happening. I think what would be good was holographic televisions, where you'd sit in your living room and be surrounded by the actors. I think that would work. I guess they're probably working on that at the moment. 3D TV? No. No. I've been to the cinema and seen some 3D films. Fantastic. Alice in Wonderland, the Scrooge one, Christmas Carol. What's the other one? Avatar. Very good. Very, very good indeed. But can you see yourself sitting at home like this? I can't see it somehow. I really can't see it. All right. Are we nearly out of time now? F95051. Have I got this wrong? I think I've done something wrong. Oh, there we are. I'm looking at the wrong time here. Oh, I nearly went over time then. Don't worry. I've only got half an hour. Lisa says, the old-fashioned barber you went to likely put the big towel into a steamer. Remember the big towel I had on my head a few shows ago? Yeah. I was wondering how they actually do that. Apparently, Lisa says that they put it in a big steamer. I've seen the small ones before on classic movies or TV shows, I think years past. But the barber you went to must have used a large one or somehow steamed it some other way if it was a very big towel. Yeah, it was a big towel. Great big thing it was, and he just chucked it over my face. I can't wait to have another one, to be honest. It was really nice. He did that to open up your pores, by the way. Then I think that the stuff they put on your face was helped to moisturise your skin and take the redness out. Oh, yes, I do need moisturiser. I've never bothered doing all that moisturiser stuff. I think I went for a little phase where I did it for a few months and I just got so fed up doing it. Can't see the point of it. You've got a pretty good deal on the price for such a thorough job as he gave you. £10. Very good and very thorough. My grandfather used to go to such a barber many years ago. Do you know, when I was a child, my dad used to take me to this proper barber's in Peckham, in South East London, which is where we live. I must go down to Peckham at some point and have a walk round the shops and see what's still there. Or perhaps type in Peckham Barbers onto Google or something like that. Lisa too says, Chris, the view from the London Eye was beautiful. I loved it. The night was really lit up and looking so brilliant. Thanks for sharing that with us. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm glad you saw the little picture of that I took on the London Eye. And Lisa says, last but not least, thank you so much for showing and telling of Melinda's poetry and that. It was so sweet. I think she'll be very surprised when people start emailing her from the show. Yeah, do email her. She's a wonderful lady doing all those poems that we talked about quite a few shows back now. Everyone needs pleasant surprises these days, you're too right. And my surprise from you, boys and girls, is to receive emails. When I get an email from someone, whether they've been writing for a while or it's the first time, it's always a wonderful experience for me. Lisa says, thanks again for all our United Kingdom Talk show friends who helped Melinda get poetry recognitions and emails. Lisa in crazy California. Thanks, Lisa. That's it for the show today. Thanks very much for joining me. My email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Drop us an email. It really love it, dear, when I get one. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. See you on the next show. Bye-bye.